Second week of the Jersey Shore Basketball League, a doubleheader tonight. First game is Larson Ford against RKE Athletic. It'll be Larson Ford to start off with the ball. Zaire Dean bringing it up against Alex Masung of RKE. Kicks to Peter Luster. Spot up triple is halfway down and out. Shaq Scott hauls in the rebound. Here's Nick Davidson, the break man, bringing it up for RKE. Dribble handoff with Masung. He drives, puts up an off-foot floater. That one won't go. Isaiah McCallum holds in the defensive rebound, I should say, for Larson Ford. So both teams go scoreless in their first trips down the lane. McCallum towards the basket. He gets fouled on the way up. So the starters for both teams will be Peter Luster and Zaire Dean at the guard spot. The forwards will be Isaiah McCallum and Alex Liba. And then down low, the big man, well, they got two big men out there, one of them being Liba, the other one being Shahid Muhammad. The starters for RKE Athletic, it'll be Alex Masung and Lamar Morgan at the guard spot as first free throw rattles out. The forwards, Shaq Scott, Dane Moran, and then Nick Davidson at center. So a pretty big lineup for RKE Athletic, at least to start this game. Still scoreless in the opening 30 seconds. And the second free throw is good to open up the scoring. Only 7 so far for RKE. They can always have more show up, obviously, as the game goes along. But definitely advantage towards Larson Ford for availability. As an entry pass poked away, Luster will bring it across half court. Gets his pocket pick, but gets it back. And he finds Muhammad to reset the offense. Now it's Luster, gets off a high screen. He'll drive, puts up a long two. That one too strong, but Muhammad can't hold in the offensive rebound. Here comes Lamar Morgan. Morgan into the front court. Entry pass to Dane Moran, has the size mismatch, but a double team comes on the low block, looking for some help. Just lays it up and in. Dane Moran gets the first field goal of the game for either side, and RKE's first points of the game. It's 2-1 in the opening minute and change. As a bounce pass to Liba is tipped away by Morgan, they'll say it remains Larson Ford basketball. Alec Krauthimmel here to bring you through the action for the first half of tonight's doubleheader. We got a good one on tap. Obviously, this game should be a pretty good one. And then next up will be Seaview Jeep against the WCT Warriors. As a nice drive into the lane by Zaire Dean. He can't get the layup to fall, but he got fouled on the way up, so he will head to the free throw line as the second foul of the game on RKE Athletic.
At the line for Larson Ford, Zaire Dean. He will be shooting.
Dean to shoot two. Larson Ford fell 109-98 to ACI Robbins Nest a couple of nights ago. First free throw for Dean is up and good. And this game is tied at 2. 8:30 to play in the opening quarter, 90 seconds into the game. Second free throw too strong. Rebound tipped and taken in by Nick Davidson. Multifaceted big man for RKE. He's shown it here, trying to go coast to coast. Floater is up. That one's too short, but he tracks down the offensive rebound. Kicks out to Shaq Scott. Open for a long two, and he drains it. RKE Athletic takes the lead back on a jumper from Scott, who we thought may have retired after the first week of action. It turned out he wanted to come back for a little bit more action, and he's gotten off to a good start so far. As we get a whistle, and Shahid Muhammad stepped on the line, so the ball will head back in the direction of RKE. It'll be Masung to bring it up. Masung was on the Penn team that won the Ivy League this past year, and we'll go to St. Anselm in the Division II ranks. Always a strong program. As Scott on the baseline, tough shot won't go off the side of the backboard. Liba rips it away. Now numbers on the other way. Here's Luster, gives it right back to Liba, and he throws it down with two hands. Tied back up at 4. Nice job by Luster leading the break, finding Liba for an open slam. 7:30 to play in the first quarter. Here's Masung, driving, kicking. Here's a three from the corner from Morgan. That one too strong. Rebound hauled in by McCallum. Here comes Zaire Dean the other way, matched up against Masung. Here's McCallum, now Liba. Around the horn, good ball movement for Larson Ford. Tough two-pointer, step back, won't go for McCallum, but a rebound by Liba. Here's Dean, step up three-pointer, that one too short. Another rebound for Liba though. Here's Luster on a catch-and-shoot triple, short. So 3 bites at the apple, couldn't get one to go down for Larson Ford. Still tied at 4, 3 minutes in. Here's a transition pull-up three from Morgan. That one won't go. Moran flies in for the offensive board. He'll fall away for the jumper, and that was pure. Nice looking jumper off the offensive board for Dane Moran. 6-4. RKE Athletic takes the lead back. Dean gets a high screen from Muhammad, works around it, lobs it up for Muhammad. He hauls it in on the low block. 8 on the shot clock now. Muhammad, fall away 2 is good. He has a long wingspan, and he can just rise up. Really hard to block, even for a guy like Dane Moran, who can back it down in the post. A really high release point made it an open look. So tied up at 6, 4 minutes in. Masung, tough 2, won't fall. Morgan, the offensive rebound. Long pass out to Davidson, and RKE will reset. Long cross-court entry pass to Morgan, goes up with a tough finish, just rims out. Good defense by Luster. Here he comes the other way. Luster gets left open. Transition pull-up 3 is down. Larson Ford takes the lead back. It's 9-6, and again, Luster, you can't leave him open. He's gained a lot of confidence over the years in that three-point jumper as Davidson gets his man in the air, got fouled, and wanted a goaltend, but the officials will say no basket, so it'll be oh no, they will count the basket. So it'll be a goaltend. And Nick Davidson will head to the line for a potential three-point play. They'll get Muhammad on the foul, his first personal, first on the team in this game. And Nick Davidson is a free throw away from tying this game up at 9. 5:38 to play in the opening quarter. Davidson's free throw is good, and we're tied at 9. This has been a hotly contested game so far. The offenses have taken a little bit of time to get going, but sometimes it takes a few minutes, and then the floodgates can just open. Here's Dean, one of those top shot creators. Nice pocket pass to Liba. He's rejected by Moran. Defensive stand for RKE, and here they go the other way. Davidson directing traffic. We'll get a whistle and an offensive foul, illegal screen on Dane Moran. That's his first personal. And as it was a player control foul, it won't count against the team foul total, so RKE remains at 2 fouls and 1 for Larson Ford. Here's Dean. High screen from Liba. Works inside the three-point line, rises up, can't get it to fall. Another tough rebound by Shaheed Muhammad. Backing down Moran in the post, goes up and under, got fouled on the way up. So Shaheed Muhammad will head to the foul line, but that's 2 early fouls on Dane Moran in successive possessions, and it looks like Sean Gallagher is going to make a call to the bench for the first time today. That will be on Moran again. That's his second. Bryce Green set to check in for RKE Athletic. First free throw from Muhammad is good.
Into the game for RKE, number 2, Bryce Green. And for Larson, number 1, Malik Wineglass.
Also a substitution for Larson Ford. As you heard from Dave on the PA, he's been on the broadcasting mic, the play-by-play broadcasting mic over these last couple of days, but tonight he's back down to his usual spot at PA. So a 2-for-2 trip for Muhammad at the line. Larson Ford takes the lead back. Davidson thought about a 3. Instead, he'll drive on Muhammad, lays it up. No, but he got fouled, and I believe that will be number 2 on Muhammad.
Larson Ford foul charge to number 44, Shaheed Muhammad. That is his second.
That is correct. It will be a second.
And there is a timeout.
So with 4:47 to play in the opening quarter, that will send us to our first media timeout of the night. RKE Athletic, or Larson Ford, I should say, with an 11-9 lead over RKE Athletic, but RKE has a chance to tie after the break with 2 free throws. We'll be back after this on the JSBL Network. So we're through our first media timeout in the JSBL opener here on Thursday night. Last games of the week. We'll be back in action Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week as well. The nightcap for tonight's game will be between Seaview Jeep, who came off a resounding 139-110 win over Stearns Trailer last night. They'll be taking on the WCT Warriors, 2-0 so far as Davidson knocks down the first. Still same guys all in for both teams. Actually, there's a sub from RKE. And it's a 2-for-2 trip from Davidson, and we're tied back up at 11. Bit of a low-scoring first quarter so far, but also some good defense being played, as usual. Here's the entry pass to Muhammad, guarded by Shaq Scott. Fall-away jumper is good. Some nice touch by Shahid Muhammad. And again, with that high reach point, with that long wingspan, it makes it really tough to contest. As Scott gets left wide open, follow-up three is good. Shaq Scott responds to the jumper from Muhammad, and RKE takes the lead back. It's 14-13, 4:15 to play in the opening quarter. As here's Dean, kicks to Muhammad. His jumper is good, and Shahid Muhammad really showing a lot of comfort with that jump shot. Here's Davidson looking to move a little quickly. He'll rise up from three. A lot of contact with no call. Misses everything. Here comes Dean the other way, 15-14. Larson Ford leads. Here's Dean, stops and dragged the pivot foot a little too much. It's always tough when you have to decelerate like that. It makes it so hard to not move that pivot foot. Just a little bit too much movement there, and RKE will take over. Here's Alex Masung to bring the ball up. Masung gets around a screen from Davidson. Nice pass inside, but Muhammad affected that one, but that put Davidson in position for the putback. He gets it to fall. 16-15, RKE takes the lead back. It's been a back-and-forth first quarter so far in Manasquan as Dean wraps around the defense and gets an open layup out of it. Another lead change. Feels like we've had 10 lead changes in this game already or something like that. Here's Masung in the isolation. Turnaround Jay. That one just lips off the front of the iron. Here's McCallum. Doesn't have numbers, so he'll reset. Now drops down low to Muhammad. Had an open lane, but just couldn't haul in the pass in time before the defense came over, so he'll post up. Kicks over to Dean, 10 on the shot clock. Dean calls for the ISO, now gets a screen from McCallum, 5 on the shot clock. McCallum, spot up three-pointer off the screen is too strong. Offensive rebound taken in, and a nice pass picked off by Masung. As Masung, a long outlet pass into the front court. Here's Scott. Spot up three is way short, misses everything. It'll go out of bounds. And Larson Ford will take over once again. Here is Dean. Again, Dean, the former Red Bank Regional standout, can really create his own shot at a high level from the guard spot with his quickness. Can also pass it too, as he showed right here, and a nice layup. Malik Weinglass with his second bucket of the night. RKE Athletic now down by 3 with the ball, driving in. Got stripped, taken away by Dean. Transition opportunity. Dean with a nice pass to McCallum. Goes up with the layup and in, and it's the largest lead of the game for Larson Ford. It's up to 5, 21-16. I believe that's the largest lead for either team so far tonight. That's how hotly contested this game has been in the opening 8 minutes of play. 21-16. Masung into the lane. He finishes floating in the air. Masung brings the deficit back to 3. Here's Dean. High screen from McCallum. As he kicks over to Luster. Luster gets some space created and knocks down the 3. He's starting to become a guy you can't leave open from there out on beyond the arc. And a chase down block for McCallum. Scott tried to go up for it. Luster transition triple. That one a little too far off to the right side. Here's Scott the other way. Frees himself up and knocks down the layup. He made Shahid Muhammad touch the floor a little bit there on the jab step. Here's Dean, gets some space, pulls up from 3, can't knock it down. Still a 4-point lead with 1:05 to play in the opening quarter, 24-20. Here is Alex Masung matched up against Isaiah McCallum. Crosses over, he's got a nice quick crossover and erased by Isaiah McCallum. He wanted a goaltend. He's not going to get it. Dean with numbers. Oh, what balance on the Euro step. That was pretty. It's up to a 6-point lead. And again, Larson Ford has some fantastic talent going at the rim. Now driving in, and that'll be a turnover going the other way to Larson Ford. Alex Leiba will check back in. Eric Brown also checking into the game. And Larson Ford off to a solid start, up 26-20. There's some, really solid guard talent not here so far tonight. Corey Floyd Jr., Nate Pierre-Louis for Larson Ford. Both were here a couple of nights ago. Floyd did get injured in that game on Tuesday, so obviously we hope he's doing okay if he's still dealing with it. Pierre-Louis had a really solid game as well. Here's Weinglass, toughness in the post. Matched up against Morgan, and he knocks down the post hook. 8-point lead, largest by either team. Shot clock off, 10 seconds on the clock. Here's Lamar Morgan. Morgan crosses over, drives left, a pretty spin move, and the scoop won't go. Leiba the rebound, 3 seconds now. Luster in the front court. He'll rise up from 3 at the buzzer. Got it! How about that from Peter Luster? Knocks down a trio of 3-pointers. And a raring finish to the first quarter by Larson Ford. They take the first double-digit lead of the game. It's 31-20. So we'll take a quick break. Second quarter coming up between RKE Athletic and Larson Ford. It's 31-20. We'll be back after this on the JSBL Network. (31-20) lead for Larson Ford. They apply some pressure to start the second quarter. RKE Athletic trying to rebound. This was a back-and-forth game as Bryce Green puts up the triple. That one won't fall. Peter Luster, 9 points in the quarter. Now finds a nice pass to Leiba, who throws it down with authority. The lead now 13 for Larson Ford. 33-20, opening stretch of this second quarter. As a long pass to Bryce Green, backing down Eric Brown. Fall away jumper, too strong. Weinglass hauls in the rebound. Here comes Luster, knocked down 3 threes, including that buzzer beater in the first quarter. Dane Moran back in the game with his 2 fouls. Matched up against Leiba, spin move, lobs it up. Can't get it to fall, but a foul. And if that's on Dane Moran, that is a big third foul, and yes, it will be. First free throw for Leiba is no good, and we'll get some substitutions for RK Athletic. Nick Davidson and Shaq Scott will check back into the game. They replace Dane Moran and Euheli Ortiz. And we got a special guest here in the broadcast booth, Alec Kraut-Himmel. Now Greg Kapalko joining us. Greg, how's it going tonight?
Well, it's another night in the JSBL. That's what we got going.
Absolutely.
Got a little bit of rainy night outside. People coming inside to watch a little bit of hoop game. Larson Ford with a couple of new additions, and boy, they're looking pretty good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of those new guys, Weinglass here for the first time, 7 points so far. Some tough rebounds, as Leiba will have one more. And that one too strong, but a nice job on the rebound. Kind of nobody boxed out. And another and one opportunity. Josh Moore, that is not Josh Morris, I can tell you that.
No, Josh Morris, not Moore.
Big
difference between the two.
Yeah, Josh Morris played last night. And the lead continues to grow. It's 35-20, less than a minute into the second quarter.
Well, you know how this league is. It's not who's on your roster, but who shows up at the game. And you know, Larson right now is, you know, a couple of key improvements. And again, their early losses in the year, both losses, they were really down to the wire and easily could have won either game.
As Masung, a nice finish at the lane, couldn't get it to fall. The rebound hauled in by Morgan, who got it off a deflection. He goes straight to the basket. That one finally falls. And RKE starting to get back into this one, 36-22. Here is Weinglass. Strong first quarter for him. Now over to Eric Brown Jr. Around the horn, here's Luster. Isolating, now finds Weinglass on the low block. Nice spin move. Kicks off to Leiba. Leiba's been really good in this second quarter, and he continues.
Leiba, over every year, he's gotten better and better. He's really an efficient big now. Very, very good underneath the basket. Got a nice touch.
Morgan, step back three is too strong. Brown with the rebound. And when Muhammad and Leiba are both playing well, that is a major weapon for Larson Ford to have two, not just big men who can play, but big men who can play. As Brown, the floater, that probably should be a travel. And yes, it will be. Okay.
Delayed call, but the right call nonetheless.
Yeah, as the floater was up, it didn't touch any part of the basket, and Brown was the first one to touch it, so that is a travel. And Larson Ford continuing to apply pressure in the backcourt. It'll be Lamar Morgan to bring the ball up. Morgan, tough start to this game. He does have 3 rebounds. Didn't have a field goal, I should say, in that first quarter. Here's Davidson. Down low to Bryce Green. Nice post up, couldn't get it to fall. Rebound is tipped and into the hands of Peter Luster. Here comes Luster, will slow it down without the numbers. Crossing the half-court line. Left open from 3. He's shown he can knock it down. Can't get that one to fall as it's too short. Davidson got the double clutch for the rebound.
Yeah, did a nice tip over to Morgan.
And here is the shot up by Green. That one won't fall, but Scott the rebound. In a crowd in the post, doesn't matter. He gets it to fall. Shaq Scott, again, we thought he might be hanging him up, but decided to come back for another week, and he has really played well for RKE to open up this game.
Yeah, he's actually keeping him in this game.
38-24. Here's Weinglass, three-pointer. That one's good from the wing. And Larson Ford cannot be stopped right now. It's 41-24 with 7 minutes to play in the opening half. Here's Lamar Morgan off a screen from Scott, creating some space. Weinglass switches on. Now kick down low to Davidson in the corner, driving on Leiba. Loses the ball, but a reach-in foul on Leiba, causing the tip away. And I believe they'll say it was on the floor. And yes, they will. So it'll be a sideline inbound. Sideline inbound. 3 subs into the game for Larson Ford. It'll be Shahid Muhammad checking back in, as well as Zaire Dean and Isaiah McCallum.
Yeah, Larson's got a nice rotation here tonight. You know, and again, if Coach Larry Marshall can actually keep these guys together, you know, it's going to really, you know, make them, you know, a lot more of a threat in the league. And the league is actually very balanced this year, from really top to bottom.
Here's a spot up 3 in the corner from Davidson. That one rattles in and out, but Morgan tracks down the offensive rebound and a new possession for RKE. Davidson gets it back in the post, directing traffic, lobs it up for Scott, hauls it in, but a little bit too far as that one goes out of bounds, and it'll be another turnover. Larson Ford takes over. This RKE offense just hasn't been able to fully get going yet on a consistent basis tonight.
Again, the only game that RKE won this year was the only night they actually had a real point guard in the gym, and that was when you know, Pete Gorman was here. And he's away this week, should be back next week to help them out. But, you know, without a real one, it really makes it difficult. You've got a lot of wings and twos handling the ball, and, you know, it makes a difference.
No Kyle Cardesi either. That's also a huge piece of their offense. And they are struggling so far. 41-24, 6 minutes to play in the first half. Here's Davidson with a little bit of daylight against Muhammad. Drives baseline, kicks to Morgan. He'll try from the corner. That one too strong, but a nice job by Scott of getting on the offensive glass. Davidson, 10 on the shot clock, driving on McCallum. Now gives to Masung. A little bit of space. Masung with 5 to shoot now. On the perimeter, he'll rise up from 3. That one's good. A tough contest by Alex Masung, and he has played well.
He's played very solid all year.
Yeah, now kind of starting to lead the offense, and they'll get an offensive foul on Larson Ford, an illegal screen. And of course, the Josh Morris of Seaview Jeep, that is not him. He will most likely, he's on the roster for Seaview Jeep, so he'll hopefully be back in the nightcap tonight. Here's Bryce Green. Step back three is way short. Might have gotten deflected. Scott tries to save it into the hands of Muhammad. He'll get it to Dean. Zaire Dean, the really speedy point guard for Larson Ford. Drives, kicks, wine glass, spot up three. That one's off the side of the backboard. Davidson the rebound. Masung with numbers. Goes straight at Dean. That one erased by Wineglass, but a foul on the way up. So Alex Masung will head to the line for two. They'll get Dean on the foul.
You know, ironically, JSBL 58th year. Throughout the history of this league, there's only been 5 commissioners over those 58 years. And I'm going to see if we can get him here at halftime. But the number 3 commissioner in the league is a gentleman by the name of Michael Robertson. Used to be the athletic director at St. Rose. And he was the commissioner of the JSBL when the league first became NCAA sanctioned.
So a major turning point for the league as we got college players of all levels, of all talents. As Masung knocks down the first free throw, Lucas Agba-Jemison will check in for the first time tonight. Another big man in the stable for Larson Ford. And Agba-Jemison, last couple years he showed he has a lot of athleticism, can work around the post. And again, another long wingspan. As Masung knocks down both, and having him and Muhammad out there will be definitely tough to battle through when you're getting to the rim for RKE on offense.
No, absolutely. Muhammad's been always tough defensively, good rebounder, great shot blocker. It's his offensive game that he needs to work a bit on. As McCallum, yes.
He climbs the ladder. Nice job on the backdoor cut. Got open, and it's back up to a 15-point lead. Here's Masung around a screen from Davidson. He pops out to the perimeter, finds Scott in the middle. Backing down Agba-Jemison, double comes, kicks out for Green. Nice job of the inside-out game, but he just can't get the three to fall, and it looks like Morgan got a little banged up on that play, battling for the rebound. Here's McCallum driving the other way for Larson Ford. Leaves it for Muhammad. He knocks down another mid-range jumper. He has shot the ball really well tonight, not even just from the low post and layups and around the rim, but...
Yes, this has been his best offensive outing of the year. I mean, he always has the size.
As Davidson can't get that layup to fall. Nice job by Muhammad on defense. Scott, though, comes away with the offensive rebound. He'll just rise back up. It's around the rim and in. So down to a 15-point lead. Here's Zaire Dean, entry pass to Isaiah McCallum. Backing down his man, Bryce Green, gets him in the air. A lot of contact, but no foul. Agba-Jemison's there for the rebound. The deflection goes to McCallum. 9 on the clock from the elbow. McCallum can't get that one to fall. Davidson with the board. 3:50 to play in the first half of action. 45-30 lead for Larson Ford. As Davidson got a little bit too much contact from McCallum, they'll get a foul on him, and that should take us to the media timeout, unless we already had it earlier.
No, we haven't. Let's see if the table remembers.
And they did. Okay, so that'll bring us to the second quarter media timeout. We'll have another person on the mic coming up here in just a second. Greg, thank you very much for joining us in the booth. 45-30 lead. 3:41 to play in the first half. The media timeout has come and gone as RKE Athletic looking to battle back into this game. It's 45-30. Larson Ford leads. It'll be sideline inbound as Dane Moran checks back into the game. He's got 3 fouls as Davidson spins off his man, drives and draws a foul on the layup attempt. We'll see who they get it on. Agba-Jemison and McCallum were both in the area. They'll get McCallum.
Larson Ford foul charge number 4. Isaiah McCallum is second, team's 4.
That's his second, and 1 foul away from putting RKE in the bonus. Davidson will head back to the line for 2 more.
RKE be a good job for them if they get this under 10 at the half.
Yeah, that's always kind of what you're looking for when a game feels like it's starting to get away from you in the second quarter. Just get it to 8 or 9 going into the locker room, and you'll start to feel good. So here's Davidson, one more at the stripe. It's a 14-point game. It was as much as 17 earlier on, as 2-for-2 trip for Davidson. Again, a multifaceted big man. Davidson can handle the ball. He can shoot it. He can back down in the post. So a lot to work with. It's a 13-point game. Here's Dean. Entry pass down low to Morris. Now drives, kicks, McCallum. Faked on a 3. That ball is set it up way in the air by Dane Moran. It'll go out of bounds, and it will remain Larson Ford basketball with 7 to shoot.
Big possession here, a little stop here. Got a chance to get it that 10-point nudging number.
And it looks like the sideline of Larson Ford agrees, as Larry Marshall will take a timeout to draw something up here with 3:19 to play in the first half and 7 on the shot clock. So 45-32 lead. We'll take another quick break. 13-point lead for Larson Ford, trying to protect it and add on to it. We'll be back after this on the JSBL Network. Now called by Larson Ford, 7 on the shot clock, 3:19 to play. They lead 45-32. It'll be Zaire Dean to inbound, finds Muhammad, dribble handoff for Dean, a long three-pointer. That one won't go. Rebound tipped into the hands of Moran, and a stop for RKE Athletic as they continue to battle back into this game. Here's Yoeli Ortiz, leaves for Moran in the post. Backing down Agba Jemison, nice spin move, layup is blocked away. Agba Jemison showing off that long wingspan and almost throws it away, and he does as Morgan hauls in the steal. Kicks to Ortiz, thought about a 3, now he'll fire. Can't knock it down, Moran the offensive board. 13-point game, Moran can't make it 11. Another offensive rebound as Morgan, falling out of bounds, will just throw it off the leg of Agba Jemison for another new possession. So RKE Athletics still being physical around the basket, and they're kind of cutting into this lead. They're sticking around.
Yeah, one of the differences playing in a lot of summer leagues in this league, it's a very physical league, and there's a lot of, not just big guys, quality big guys.
Here's Ortiz off the dribble move and a screen from Davidson, and he knocks down the mid-range jumper to cut the deficit to 11. 2:30 on the clock and counting. Here's Dean. Tough defense by Ortiz. He got a little bit too much contact trying to reach. That is his first, third on RKE in the quarter. 4 fouls on Larson Ford, so next foul on Larson will send free throws the way of RKE. Inbound pass goes to Shaheed Muhammad, and he looks like got away with a little bit of a travel. Either way, play continues. 9 on the shot clock. Here's Zaire Dean into the corner. Ortiz picking him up once again, going back and forth. Now 3, got to create something here. Long three-pointer at the buzzer. That one's good. And Sean Gallagher can't believe it. One of those things as a coach, nothing you can do there with a long heave at the end of the shot clock.
That was terrific defense. That was just better offense.
Here's Bryce Green, can't respond the other way. And a high putback won't go by Dane Moran. We have a whistle.
Yeah, I believe it may have hit the game clock or the post over the board. I guess we'll see.
And it looks like it'll be RKE ball, so they might be saying that it did hit the top of the backboard, but it went off of Larson Ford last.
Yeah, deflection.
So 14 on the shot clock, 1:54 on the game clock. 48-34 lead for Larson Ford as Bryce Green driving in on McCallum, and he lost the ball. Here's Zaire Dean, went right through his legs. Here's Dean coast to coast, turns on the Jets. And Dean can start and stop with some of the best of them in this league. Here's Ortiz.
Probably would have made a difference in last year's playoffs. He got hurt at the end of the year and actually didn't play in the playoffs with Larson, and it actually hurt them.
He is another strong ball handler, and like I said, a guy who can really start and stop, change acceleration at a high level. Nice wraparound pass to Agba-Jemison. Here's the wide open three. It's good. Lucas Agba-Jemison knocks down the three, and all of a sudden, the lead is 19 for Larson Ford. Here's Morgan. Screen from Moran, kicks to Davidson. Thought about a three-pointer, instead gives to Moran down low, and we'll get a foul before the shot. I believe they'll get Agba-Jemison as he reached a little bit too much trying to tip away that entry pass, and that will put Moran at the free throw line with Larson Ford over the limit. So Moran will take 2 shots at the line. First one is good. It's back to an 18-point game. Peter Luster will check back into the game. He replaces Josh Morris. Again, 3 3-pointers in that first quarter for Luster, as the free throw from Moran just lips out. 1 minute to play in the second quarter, 18-point lead. Larson Ford looking to build on it. Luster wide open, can't give him that much space. Can't knock it down. Rebound is volleyballed up in the air into the hands of Ortiz. Turns on the speed, drives on Dean, leaves it for Morgan. Long three-pointer from the top of the key. That one's good, and a much-needed bucket for RKE Athletic to cut the lead back to 15. So 35 seconds on the clock, 19 on the shot clock. So a chance to go 2 for 1. Doesn't look like Larson will take advantage of it. Dean, guarded by Ortiz, once again, high screen from Muhammad. Drives into the lane, through some contact, gets it tipped away, and looks like Agba-Jemison tried to save it, but his foot was on the line. So it'll be RKE basketball with 20.1 on the clock. They can hold for 1. Here is Bryce Green, hounded by Luster in the backcourt. Green crossing over, crosses the line. 15 seconds now on the clock. High screen from Davidson. That looks like hold for 1. Here's Ortiz over to Morgan. 8 seconds now. Driving baseline. Morgan, pump fakes, goes up with the up and under. Can't get it to fall, but he got fouled. So Lamar Morgan will head to the foul line to try to cut this lead to 13 with 3.8 seconds on the clock. So 3 fouls now on Shaheed Muhammad, but I mean, if there's anything that Larson Ford has, that's a really solid stable of big guys that they can turn to if they have to take Muhammad off the floor.
Yeah, it looks like they have 5 or 6 tonight, which is a terrific advantage.
First free throw from Morgan is good. Lamar Morgan, really solid career at Coppin State and then played well in Brazil this past year. 3.8 on the clock as Sean Gallagher telling his defense to match up. Can't give up a cheap one for the last seconds. As that one won't go, Agba-Jemison the rebound, clock ticking. Here's McCallum, kicks to Luster. Can he strike twice? I don't believe that would have counted either way. It's too long. So we head to halftime, a 53-39 lead at the half. We'll take a quick break, but don't go anywhere as we have a special halftime interview coming up here on the JSBL Network. Very much. Alec Krathimmel back with you here in the JSBL broadcast booth. We got the booth cam here with you now, and here with us now a special guest, the third commissioner of the Jersey Shore Basketball League, Mike Robertson, was a groundbreaking commissioner. You helped bring the league its first indoor spot at St. Rose, and also helped bring its first NCAA sanction. Mike, thanks so much for the time tonight here at halftime. How you doing tonight? How you feel bringing in some basketball here in the JSBL?
Alec, it's great to be here. Absolutely great to be here. And indoor basketball in an air-conditioned facility in the summertime, wearing shorts and sandals. It doesn't get better than that. This is what it's all about, quite honestly.
Especially when you got a rainy day like today. So again, like I mentioned, when you were commissioner in 1989, the first time it was sanctioned by the NCAA for the Summer League, what was that whole process like?
It was kind of arduous, quite honestly. We had been an outdoor league for decades. And we were playing at Birch Hill, not at Birch Hill, we were playing at the Headliner, and they had decided they were going to use their facility for something else in '89. And so Art Stock hosted us up at Birch Hill Swim Club, and 6 teams followed us up to Birch Hill, including 4 that are still in the league now, Larson, Seaview, RKE, and Stearns. So we were up there for a few seasons, and the big change going to up there was we were no longer to be a paid admission league. It was going to be NCAA sanctioned. In order to do that, we couldn't charge admission. It had to be free for anybody to come to the games. So the sponsors all had to put up significantly more money than they had before because we no longer had the admission revenue stream. But it became really quite a hot league with college guys now that we had that sanctioning. It was the first time a college student could play in the JSBL. It'd either be before college or post-college, before that. So it was a whole new ball game for us, and we spent 3 seasons up there, and then we had the opportunity to move back to Belmar, to St. Rose High School, in an air-conditioned gym in the summertime, a few blocks from the ocean, and was one we jumped at, and the league exponentially grew from there. Attendance was skyrocketed, our security budget quadrupled, quite honestly. It was the league to come as a fan to watch games, and it became the league for players to come and play in a game.
So you were commissioner for 10 years, from 1989 to 99. Since then, even before your time as commissioner, how have you seen this league continue to grow into what it is today? Like you mentioned, a really, really top destination to watch players of all levels play.
It has become that, and especially we were at St. Rose for a few years when a couple of NBA players got hurt in outdoor leagues, not in our league, and the NBA decided they were going to sanction summer leagues. So we were the first, and for one summer we were the only league in the country that had both an NCAA sanction and an NBA sanction. And that again grew the league, because now you could have elite college players playing against NBA pros in a summer league game. And the only bad part was the St. Rose gym only held 600 people, and we many nights had lines of people down the block. But we were attracting a lot of great players, TV coverage. We were mentioned on ESPN. We had Dr. Jack Ramsey do an interview from our site one time. We had live remotes from New Jersey Network and Cablevision. It was pretty great product at the time, and the league continues to attract great players. It's really a one-of-a-kind league in the country.
You could definitely say that. Well, Mike Robertson, the third commissioner in JSBL history, a groundbreaking commissioner as well. Thank you so much for the time talking to us at halftime, and hope you enjoy the rest of the action tonight.
Thanks so much for having me. It's great to be here. Thank you.
We'll be back in a couple minutes for the start of the second half on the JSBL Network. We're back here at the JSBL, Manasquan High School. Second half of action between Larson Ford and RKE Athletic, and Nick Davidson opens up the third quarter with a mid-range jumper as RKE Athletic trying to fight their way back into this game. Eric Brown Jr. knocks down a three on the other end for Larson Ford. They led us by as many as 19 points. It's 15 now. There were 6 lead changes in the first half as Masong, a floater, is good. 56-43 ball game. As a catch-shoot three from McCallum, too strong. Rebound tapped out by Lamar Morgan. Masong tried to find Shaq Scott on the pass up, but he wasn't looking. It was a little behind him. Malik Weinglass, I should say, will check back in. Alec Himmel and Dan Yasirski finally make his way up here.
It feels good to be back.
Yeah, after a long absence for undisclosed reasons. 56-43, a minute into the third quarter. Here's Zaire Dean driving into the lane, puts up a lefty floater. That one won't go. Scott hits the floor on the rebound. We got a whistle, and it looks like it'll be Larson Ford ball.
Again, that's just, look at the guys Larson's had tonight. And you talk about McCallum, but Lucas Agbajemison is no scrub. And to get him, you add Weinglass, who was 3-3 in that first quarter, had a strong game. If you can continue to supplant some of these good role players that Larson can roll out, I mean, Peter Luster's had a good night. Dean's been good. I mean, McCallum has been a good defender, and he just traveled there. You know what? That's an announcer jinx right there.
Shuffled the pivot foot a little bit too much. But, yeah, I mean, that's even factoring in who Larson Ford doesn't have. No Corey Floyd tonight, no Nate Pierre-Louis, as they were here on Tuesday. But, I mean, the guys that they do have tonight are really showing up and showing out, and a large stable of bigs as well. Really helpful. Here's Moran in the post. Kicks out to Davidson. Off the dribble, trying to create. Gets his man in the air. Tried to initiate contact. Didn't get the foul call. Instead, he gets the offensive rebound, and he gets the foul on the second time up.
Hey, if you don't do it, if it doesn't work the first time and you almost got it to go, why don't you try again? And I think the referees saw what happened the first time. Not as much contact the second time around, but because there was more contact the first time around, they gave it to him.
Nick Davidson's been the go-to guy. 11 points now, and along with 7 rebounds. And this is also the 5th foul he's drawn on the night. 5 of 5 from the free throw line in the first half. And he continues his hot streak with another one. It's down to a 12-point game. About 90 seconds into the third quarter. 56-44.
And Davidson's one of those guys.
As he misses that one just off the front of the iron.
That if you get him a point guard, he one, plays bigger than he is. And 2,
as a corner 3 for Luster goes down. That's number 4. And Peter Luster turning into a verified sharpshooter tonight.
And it hasn't just been tonight, it's been all year with Peter Luster, where this guy was one of the most criticized players in the league.
I wonder by who.
Well, we won't get into that, but I mean, he just continued to show up every single summer, and he's gotten better every time he's touched the floor in the JSBL.
As Masung picks the pocket of Dean, and Masung throws it down with one hand.
That was nasty from Masung. Getting up there and getting it in.
Back down to a 13-point game. Here's Dean, a nice pass. Was looking for Liba, but it got kicked. So it will remain Larson ball. And yeah, Luster, it's something we talked about in their first game as well, Larson Ford's first game. It's all about the confidence with him. He is shooting that 3 ball with a lot of confidence, and he's being rewarded for that confidence. It's going in a whole lot more this year. Here's Liba in the post. Hook is up, and it's good over the outstretched arm of Dane Moran.
The little 30 through it, that skyhook action there, a little bit Kareem. But you mentioned with Luster, I mean, I think a lot of it is him playing in the Norm League. I mean, it's a summer league up in Middletown, New Jersey. I've played that Norm court thousands of times, but it's just a place for him to go get shots up and get confident. And the more he does it, I think the better he's going to play when he's here.
As a little bit too much contact from Liba, he'll get whistled for the foul.
The same thing with anything when you mention just the confidence aspect, as Agbajemison will check back in, where the more shots you get up, the more you see the ball go in, the better you're going to feel about yourself coming down here.
Here's Masung, top of the key. He's been one of the main ball handlers for RKE without a few guards. Here's Davidson now, another one of those main ball handlers. Drives into the lane, puts up a tough shot. That one won't go. Dean holds in the rebound. Now he's got numbers, and he'll run. Finds Luster, leaves it for Agba Jemison, a two-hand slam.
Great. That is great on both ends, especially by Peter Luster right there, that he sees that he has a bigger guard coming, and he has Agba Jemison down the lane, and he's like, all right, I'll stop. I'll give Agba Jemison the easy feed for the slam. Very well done by Luster, and then Agba Jemison, he can get up with anyone in this league.
And they'll get Luster on the foul. That's his third personal. A little bit too much contact on the entry pass. Bryce Green will check back into the game for RKE Athletic. He replaces Nick Davidson. 17 on the shot clock, 6:50 on the game clock in the third quarter. 63-46. The lead has grown back to 17. Here's Masung. Kicks it into Lamar Morgan. Some tough defense by Luster. Kicks out to Shaq Scott, who knocks down a two-point basket.
I looked like a three, but, you know, it's the corner line. But I tell you what, that's a huge bucket for RK, where it looked like everything was not going their way. To get that bucket's huge.
Luster wide open, can't get that one to fall. McCallum the rebound, hook is up and in.
He needs to do that more. If you look at how he rebounds, he's such a good rebounder, McCallum. He's not the best spot-up shooter, but if you have him in a position to get offensive rebounds, you're in a pretty good spot if you're Larson Ford.
And another foul on Larson. I believe that one will be on Luster. Him and Morgan, very physical in that matchup in the mid-post. They will get Luster.
And it honestly looks like they're being more physical because RKE is struggling to move the ball so much.
Yeah. It kind of allows them to do that because they can settle into their defensive positioning, as Morris will check back in for Luster. Already 4 fouls on Larson Ford, so one away from being over the limit and putting RKE at the foul line.
The other thing with Larson is that you have such a deep bench tonight that you can afford. You're not going to, if you lose one guy's just going to come off the bench that's as good as the one you're losing. So if you're Larson, you can afford to be more aggressive because what's the worst that happens? You put RK at the free throw line, they're struggling to score baskets as it is anyway.
So here's Dean running the offense for Larson Ford. He'll just rise up from the free throw line on the floater. Too strong. Morgan the rebound. A long outlet pass up to Masung. Rises up, knocks it down, and the foul.
Now, they've had some good fouls in the half. That was not a good one from McCallum. I think at that point, just give Masung the bucket, and now you have him going to the line, and you picked up your 15th foul of the half.
So it'll be free throws the rest of the way as Davidson checks back into the game for Shaq Scott.
Quarter, excuse me.
5:47 to play in the third as Masung will have one. And again, Masung has really stepped up with a lack of, big-time proven lead guard ball handlers. Masung has played well.
That's what happens. I mean, you throw some guys with a little bit of inexperience into the starting fold, and you got to see what they can do, and he's done a good job tonight.
He completes the three-point play. Here's Dean. Lead down to 14, 5:38 on the clock. Entry pass to Malik Weinglass. He had a strong start to this game. He'll just rise up from the mid-range and can't get the roll. Davidson the board.
Sometimes it just happens. You don't get a friendly bounce, and don't look now. RKE's putting a little something together here.
Morgan left wide open in the corner. That three halfway down and out. Rebounded by McCallum.
I think you could look now.
Larson going to start to push here in the half court. As a kick to Morris. Now around the horn. Dean wide open in the corner. That one halfway, well, not really halfway down, but around the rim and out. Weinglass back to Dean. Once again open. He'll drive this time. Good ball movement once again. Here's McCallum on a three-pointer. That one too strong. Another long outlet, this time to Davidson. He gets the easy layup to fall. Sung on the outlet pass this time.
I know Larson doesn't get that bucket there, but I thought the ball movement that they had on that previous possession was great. And then on the other end, RKE quickly down the lane, the outlet pass. If you're going to give that up, I think that's something they'll talk about in the media.
Here's Dean, gets the layup to fall.
He's looked really good tonight. I know I got here a little bit late, but the confidence that Dean and Luster are showing.
Masung rises, gets deflected, but right over to Bryce Green. 13 on the shot clock. Morgan will reset, calls for the isolation. Finds Davidson in the high post. He'll just rise up with the shot clock winding down. He can't get it to fall. And another stop for Larson Ford. The lead is 14 with 4 minutes to play in the third. Here's Dean. He'll bring it out, guarded by Lamar Morgan.
It feels like the only time that they've had the ability to score RKE is not in the half court. It's these long outlet passes or in transition.
They'll have another opportunity here on the run. Morgan hauls in the pass from Masung. Now gets double teamed. Long cross-court pass to Green. Immediately over to Davidson. Top of the key three won't go. An offensive board from Moran. Tries to go back up, and he got fouled on the way.
But even then, look at the transition defense by Larson Ford there was exceptional as we're coming up on a media. But the way that they were able to get back and then double who had the ball in the paint, very well done by Larson.
So a 67-53 lead at the media timeout, 3:42 to play in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break and be back after this on the JSBL Network. We're back from the media timeout. Dane Moran will head to the foul line for 2 shots, and he airballs the first one. And he'll wipe off the shorts, slipped off the hands. He'll have one more.
That's exactly what you want to see out of a timeout, an airball 3 free throw.
Knocks down the second one, so splits a pair.
I mean, just if you look at this, now Larson's up 13. Defensively, they've been great. Offensively, they're getting the shots they want because of the ability of Dean, of this dribble penetration. He's doing it again right here, and they're able to find Muhammad, and then,
Muhammad bounce pass a little bit too much English for McCallum. Now a 2-on-none. Morgan lays it in. Down to 11.
And then you look at that, and it's like every time Larson's able to build a 16 or 17-point advantage, RKE is able to come back with the mini run, but they haven't had the big one yet.
Wineglass long 2 off the nice feed from Dean is good.
I think he's kicking himself right there that he didn't step back. Oh, look at the play by McCallum. Oh, my
Steals
goodness.
the inbound, couldn't get the layup to fall. Masung with a full head of steam. Here he comes into the front court, rises up against McCallum, or excuse me, Muhammad. That one did not go in his favor. Here comes Dean the other way.
That 2K would have given him a bad shot selection for that.
Wineglass can't get the 3 to fall. Another offensive rebound from McCallum. He got fouled on the way up as the ball went straight backwards.
I don't even think he tried to throw that ball at the rim, Alec. I think he threw it straight backwards, and yet because he was going right into contact was the beneficiary of going right into contact. But I do think if you're looking at RKE, they need to consistently put together good offensive possessions where tonight it's been 1 here, 1 there. It hasn't been 2, 3, 4, 5 consistently good offensive possessions from them.
First free throw from McCallum won't go as substitution. Yaheli Ortiz checks in for Alex Masung, who's put together some really strong stretches of play.
I mean, he's been, outside of Davidson, and I think it could be a tie right now. Those two have been the whole reason RKE is not down by more right now.
70-56, 2:35 to play in the third quarter. Here is Bryce Green bringing the ball up against Wineglass. He'll fall away on a tough 2. That one won't go, and we'll get a foul. I believe that one will go on Morris.
It looked that way, and then that's bad because there's bad plays on both ends there. If you're RKE, I feel like RKE is settling too much, and I don't know if you agree with me or not.
I think that's fair, yeah.
They haven't taken a lot of open shots. They haven't moved the ball enough, and I think that's the benefit when you're down a big point guard, you're down your best all-around shooter in Cardacci. That happens. No Gorman and Cardacci, that hurts you. But still, I feel like even then, Larson Ford's not settling for shots, whereas RKE, every time they're down the floor, it feels like they're either settling for a shot within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock, or it's getting down to a point where they have to rush a shot up. It's part of it is the testament to how good Larson Ford's been defensively tonight.
Yeah, they've been really good with a lot of depth on the bench, and it's also tough when you don't have one of or both of your primary ball handlers for RKE as well. Here's Dean, quick pass into Morris on the low block against Moran, and looks like he got away with a little bit of a travel. Dean with 4 on the shot clock will rise, too strong. Ortiz the rebound, here he comes the other way. Mid-air pass to Moran, thought about a free throw line jumper, nice step through, can't get it to fall, but he gets his own rebound, puts that one back up and in, and Moran putting together some nice moves. Back down to 10, and again, RKE sticking around.
And this is the point where if you're RKE, go on that run, get the next 5 points. If you can get the next 5 points, it completely changes how this fourth quarter is going to play.
Here's Isaiah McCallum, guarded by Lamar Morgan. Backing down in the mid-post, trying to get some positioning. Double team comes, now Wineglass, three-pointer is up and down.
That is just a huge bucket from Wineglass. But you have to give McCallum credit because you saw where he was originally thinking. He's like, oh, I have the positioning under the rim. He waits for the double to come and finds an open Wineglass who drills a 3.
Morgan with some strength in the post himself, knocks down the mid-range J to keep the lead at 11. And Wineglass has a really high release point, makes that shot hard to contest and even block. And a foul away from the ball as Morgan and McCallum share some words.
Is that? I don't know who that's on. I think it'll stay with Larson.
I think the officials are conferring right now. It'll be on a number 4 either way. And they'll say it's on Morgan.
And that's the thing when you're going up against McCallum. McCallum is very strong.
He's physical too.
And you can see the words being had isn't because these guys are like fighting with each other. I guess they'll take McCallum out to move in.
Only the first foul in the entire quarter.
Luke DeVito checks in.
And of course, it happens to come in the last 2 minutes. And it looks like the sideline trying to get some cooler heads to prevail with McCallum.
Yeah, you don't want that to snowball and end up having one of these guys get kicked out.
As Dean, a tough finish in the lane.
Tough's an understatement, Alec. That is just fearlessness going up against a bigger player. Here's my best shot.
As Morgan the other way, can't knock down the three-pointer.
And again, that's just, you're down 13, settling for a 3, and that shot is not the right play.
As we're getting officials timeout, I believe the shot clock did not reset.
Shot clock will be reset to 20 seconds.
And it'll reset to 20. So 35.8 on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock, 15-second difference. They can go 2 for 1 if they like. We haven't seen them do that tonight when given the opportunity. DeVito remains in the game for Larson Ford.
By the way, and Dave, our PA guy, texted us, there's 2 Josh Morrises in the league now.
Yeah.
And they both play on the same team.
Well, the other Josh Morris, I know you weren't here yesterday. The Josh Morris that we saw last year is now on CVG.
Oh, my goodness. So we might have the first ever 2 players with the same name matchup. It's like the Max Muncy thing in baseball.
Exactly, yeah.
But that gets weird because both guys are born on the same day.
Yeah, it's true.
They were both drafted by the A's.
Yeah, it gets even weirder.
Although one's a little bit better than the other. And a 3-time world champion.
As McCallum gets the inbound, again, 20-second difference, or 15-second difference, I should say, between shot and game clock.
But to finish the thought, I am very much looking forward to the Morris on Morris matchup.
Here is Dean off a screen from Muhammad, tried to get it to him.
This could be a big possession.
Here's Davidson, finds Morgan down low, goes with the ball fake and gets fouled on the way up.
I mean, if he didn't get fouled, that is a terrible take. And I don't mean to.
I think he was intentionally trying to put it up to get the defender in the air.
But just, I feel like the way RKE is playing right now, it's very selfish basketball. It's the moment someone touches the ball, it feels like they're shooting it too early. They're not they're settling for shots because these guys are just trying to get shots up. And I don't know if that's on the coaching staff there or that's on just the players being loose. But there needs to be more of a team mindset with RKE.
First free throw is good, and then once again, I mean, not having your 2 point guards, I think, definitely kind of hurts that a little bit, especially when you got a guy like Cardace who's kind of the leader on the floor.
But even then, Masung was helping play unselfish basketball, and he's the guy not on the bench right now.
So 2 free throws down. And 14 seconds on the game clock, shot clock off, so Larson Ford can hold for one with an 11-point lead. It'll be Dean once again to lead the way off a screen from Muhammad. 5 seconds now. Dean crossing over, needs some help with a double team, kicks out to Weinglass, three-pointer at the buzzer. That one won't go.
I mean, they got the look they wanted. They sent, RKE sends the double over towards Dean, and why not? I mean, you want to speed Dean up and force him into a bad decision. He stays calm, makes a perfect pass to Weinglass. 9 times out of 10, Weinglass hits that shot. The 10th time he didn't.
So a 75-64 lead for Larson Ford heading into the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break on the other side. Final 10 minutes coming up on the JSBL Network. We're back here for the fourth quarter of action. You see Josh Cohen, the player of the game from last night for Seaview Jeep. He'll be in action in the nightcap. 75-64 lead for Larson Ford. They have possession now. Here's Alex Leiba working through some contact. Can't get the hook to fall, but he gets his own rebound. Can't get that one to fall either. He was looking for a foul, as was the entire Larson Ford bench. Here's Alex Masong going the other way. Creates some space. Fall away Jay is short. And a Larson Ford rebound.
I just think they're too psyched out. And we have a whistle here.
And it looks like Larry Marshall wants to talk some things over. They'll take a fairly quick timeout, so we'll go over some stats. I know you don't want to have too many breaks here.
Have you ever seen a team take a timeout 35 seconds into a quarter?
No.
Because the coach didn't like the offensive possession in the first time?
Yeah, I mean, Larson Ford in their most recent game on Tuesday, they called the timeout in the opening minute of I believe it was the third quarter, but they were losing that game. Here they're winning, so I think Larry Marshall just wants to make sure his guys have that same focus even with the double-digit lead.
And I don't think that was a bad offensive possession on the other end, though. If you think about it, Leiba got the look that he wanted. He missed. He got his own rebound. And, again, that's a high percentage putback that he put up that, you know what, sometimes, I mean, these guys are human. It's not analytics. This isn't Brian Cashman with the New York Yankees, where it's like sometimes the human error happens and he ended up missing, but I wouldn't have been upset with that offensive position at all if I was Larry Marshall.
Nick Davidson has game-high 16 points, also 8 rebounds. And Malik Weinglass leads Larson Ford with 15. Here's Dean, pass into Muhammad, goes up, gets it to fall. Are they going to call a foul? Yes.
I thought they were going to call a goaltend for a second because I don't think Davidson wanted Muhammad's shot to go through. Now, granted, that was 2 points regardless. But Masung will pick up the foul. That's his second.
Masung on the night, 13 points, 6 rebounds. And 33% on the night shooting for RKE Athletic. Muhammad finishes off the three-point play. Muhammad's had a great night shooting the basketball, whether it's at the line or creating his own shot from the low post or the mid-range. He has been really strong tonight in that regard.
And the thing about Muhammad is you see a missed shot from Green. He's now 0 for 9. The thing with Muhammad is he hasn't had to play a lot because of the depth. I mean, you could go with Agbajemison, you could go with Liba, you could rotate Muhammad. So you have 3 capable bigs that are able to play good minutes for you, and none of the 3 are going to end up getting tired.
As we have a little bit of a wet spot to clean up on the opposite side of the floor. Yeah, coming into this fourth quarter as a team, only a 33% mark, 23-69 from the floor, and 2 of 19 from 3. That's been a big point for why they've been down for a lot of this game. They've had some looks from the outside. They just haven't been able to knock them down. That's compared to 9 of 26 from Larson Ford.
I mean, that's 2 for 19 from 3. I mean, no one's going to win a game if you shoot 2 for 19 from 3, unless the team that's shooting is shooting worse than you from that distance.
Unless you're Seton Hall, like David and I talked about last night. They won a game without making a three-pointer.
But that's just Big East basketball. That's defense.
Of course, yeah.
That's defense.
Here's Masung on the wing, looking for some help, picks up his dribble, finds Davidson. He's left wide open from the arc. Can't get that one to fall. Another missed 3 for RKE.
And sometimes it's just not your night. I mean, Davidson, you can't get a better, cleaner look than that. And he puts it up. It's a pretty good-looking shot. It just doesn't go in. Sometimes it's not your night.
Here's Liba in the low post, kicks out for Dean. 10 to shoot. High screen from Liba. Dean creates some space, lobs it up for Liba. That one tipped by Moran. Here comes Shaq Scott.
Excellent defense from Moran there.
Scott kicks to Green, corner three-pointer. That one is halfway down and out. It just feels like there's a lid on the rim when RKE goes up for a three-pointers. That pass tipped away, and Dean a little bit slow to get up. Him and Scott collided, battling for that rebound.
And if you're Bryce Green, you just, at some point, you hoping that you just get contact and go to the free throw line. You need to see something go in. You're 0 for 10 in this game now, and he's not putting up bad looks. Green's been the one guy, I think, tonight that hasn't put up a bad shot. Yet sometimes, again, if there's a lid on the rim, it's a confidence thing. It's like you feel it. I know it's as crazy as it sounds. Like you could be Steph Curry, and if you feel like the ball's not going in, you're going to have a bad game.
Nice job by Eddie Capalco mopping up the wet spot on the floor.
Even Liba appreciated. He said good job to him.
So to be Green to inbound on the sideline, 11 on the shot clock, 8:05 on the game clock, 78-64. Davidson creates some space on the pump fake, drives in, layup is no good, but Moran almost hauls in the offensive board. It goes to Liba instead. Here's Dean.
That's the other thing Larson can do tonight. They're running 2 bigs on the floor.
Leaves it short, got his own rebound and put it back in. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you might think that was intentional from Zaire Dean.
Exactly, it looked like he passed it to himself.
Here's Davidson in the short corner, Muhammad on him. Pump fakes, nice spin move, goes up against the glass, it won't go, but he drew the foul as Davidson got past Muhammad. He'll head to the stripe for 2 shots.
I think that's just Davidson being able to lean on his strength. I mean, he doesn't have the athleticism advantage, and he didn't have the size advantage there either, but he does have the weight advantage on a guy like Muhammad, who is as good a shot blocker as anyone, but Davidson used his weight, spun in, and was able to find clear positioning on Muhammad, and he had no choice but to foul.
First free throw for Davidson is good. They got Muhammad on the foul. It's his 4th, as Lamar Morgan will check back in for Bryce Green.
4 fouls, 7:33 to go. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world in terms of foul trouble.
And again, I mean, it's not like Larson Ford is starving for big men as well.
No, I mean, you could throw Agbajemison in there. I mean, I would consider Malik Weinglass to be a big man as well in this league.
He definitely has the length and the height to be considered one, but also with kind of a wing skill set on the ball. Here's Dean off a screen from Liba at the free throw line, kicks for McCallum, catch and shoot triple in the corner. That one way long. Rebounded by Davidson. He'll bring the ball up for RKE. Feeling like a little bit of do or die time, down by 14 with 7 minutes to play. Here's Davidson working through Liba. Can't get that one to go. And it looks like they'll get Liba on the foul. Took some contact himself as well. A little bit of a shot to the face there as he's still down.
I think the thing and why they didn't call it on Liba is that he wasn't set. But if there was a man, and this is the thing that kind of annoys me about basketball, is like, if that should have been an offensive foul. I mean, Davidson was the one who initiated the contact. He drove his arm into the face of Liba, and Liba has to deal with the insult to injury kind of moment where, hey, I just got drilled in the face. Oh, yeah, the guy I was guarding is now shooting too.
And Liba looks like he's all right. He gets up. He'll wipe it off. And once again, it'll be Davidson heading to the charity stripe. He has done an excellent job of creating contact and drawing contact. And, of course, once again, Eddie Capalco doing a great job of making sure the floor is all dry.
He does a great job. I mean, everything that man does is just legendary.
It's 2 shots for Davidson. 2 substitutions getting ready to come in for Larson Ford. It'll be Eric Brown Jr. and Malik Weinglass.
And this is where, if you're Larson, you don't even have your fullest, you don't have your top 2 scorers. And the job that your role players have done tonight has been fantastic. Now, when you get Nate Pierre-Louis, who when he was here, consistently was arguably the top 5 player in the league. And you get Floyd back, that's a dangerous roster. And finally for Larson, where it's like they've had this great history of winning. They were so close a couple of years ago, and it kind of deteriorated once Pierre-Louis and his brother Josh left, and maybe they're on an uptick.
Here's Brown, 12-point game with 7 minutes to play, 80-68. Here's McCallum driving into the lane, goes up with a fake. Oh, and that one just falls out.
Unlucky. I mean, he did everything right there. He goes up with the right hand. He had positioning. He put a good shot up. It just didn't fall in. And
Morgan flips the ball over his head and draws a foul on the spin move.
I mean, this game has become it feels like RKE's going to the free throw line every time they're down there, and you know what? It's to their benefit. I mean, if they want to find a way to get back in the game, they're not making threes, they're struggling from the field, but the one thing they've done particularly well tonight is shoot from the free throw line, and to their benefit, they're getting there pretty often.
Morgan's first is good. Down to an 11-point game, and once again, RKE Athletic not totally out of it. They can get a bit of a hot stretch. They still have some time to get back into this game.
All they need is a couple of threes, and it feels like they can get them. I mean, it's all you need is an open guy from the corner. It feels like such a tall task because of how they shot the 3 tonight, but it's doable for them.
80-70, 6:30 on the clock. Here's Dean. Turnaround Jay from the foul line. That one too strong. Morgan muscles home the rebound. Here's Davidson. Doesn't have the numbers, but he'll just go straight in the lane. Got caught in midair. The pass goes out to Shaq Scott. Long 3-pointer for Morgan. They need it. Can't get it. But another tough rebound by Moran. It's good, and we're down to single digits.
And I think there's multiple things. First, I'm going to start with, I think if I'm Larry Marshall, I need to get Zaire Dean out of the game. It feels like he's kind of gotten into his own head, and he's trying to do too much. He's going a little De'Aaron Fox here. And then Dane Moran on the offensive end just not quitting.
And a big turnover forced by RKE as the pass from Weinglass. A little bit too much on it. 5:49 left, and it's an 8-point game, 80-72.
I think if I'm RKE, I would try a little high pick and roll with Davidson at the top and get Masung into a good position, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Here's Masung off the screen. He'll fall away from 2, and we're bound to a 2-possession game, and they did just that. Davidson on the screen. Masung got a little bit of daylight, and he knocked down the mid-range jumper.
I think Davidson might have heard me from the corner.
As Dean responds with a jumper of his own to push the lead back to 8. It's a big, big shot, one that Larson really needed as the offense was starting to slow it down a little bit. 82-74, nearing the midway point of the 4th. Here's Masung spinning off, drives, draws a foul, and they'll get Weinglass going up for the block, and it will be 2 free throws for Alex Masung. It looks like Shaheed Muhammad is a little slow to get up.
I think it looked like he might have strained something in his core. It looks like he's favoring that right hip a little bit. And
he's walking it off, which is a good sign.
I mean, it's such a violent movement when he goes up to block a shot. And I think sometimes with that violent movement that you're making, you can push-pull a little too quickly. And sometimes, the human body's not built to do something like that. So sometimes you feel it a little bit, and he looks like he's okay.
Shaking it off. It'll be 2 free throws for Masung, an 8-point game with 5:11 to play. And again, after this game, make sure you don't go anywhere. We have a tremendous nightcap on our hands as well, as the first free throw from Masung is no good. Seaview Jeep will take on the WCT Warriors, 2-0 on the year, as Alex Leiba will re-enter the game for Weinglass. And Seaview Jeep coming off a commanding nearly a 30-point win over Stearns Trailer. And they have another really strong stable of guys. You see Josh Cohen over there, also CJ Ruoff, who had a tremendous game last night. As Muhammad tried to save the rebound, it goes out.
I don't know why Muhammad did that. That was going out on RKE. Sometimes it's just trying to play a little bit too much hero ball.
And that'll bring us to our media timeout. 82-74, 5:08 on the clock.
That's a tough one for Muhammad, and I think that previous, like he was upset. You could see he was upset that he didn't get that block, and I think he tried to do a little bit too much there. And sometimes when you're trying to do a little bit too much, you end up doing too much.
Trying to overcorrect your previous play. So 5 and change to go in the fourth quarter. 8-point lead for Larson Ford. We'll be back in a few minutes on the JSBL Network. We're back from the media timeout. It'll be RKE Athletic ball. They trail 82-74 to Larson Ford with 5:08 to play. And again, RKE fighting their way back into this game, trying to make it a 2-possession game once again.
I think they kind of got the benefit of the media timeout happening when it did, because they could draw something up.
Here's Davidson, thought about a 3-5 on the shot clock, drives on Muhammad, spins off, gets the layup up, it won't go, and another foul.
That's 5 on Muhammad now.
And I believe that'll be 5 on, yes it is, 5 on Larson Ford as a team. So once again, into the penalty, RKE will be shooting free throws for the final 5 minutes.
And that's great offense by Nick Davidson right there. He saw that Muhammad had switched on to him. He didn't panic. He drove inside and drew the contact on one of the best shot blockers in the league. Very well done by Davidson right there.
And he has been really, really good at the stripe as well as he knocks down another one. Josh Morris will check back into the game for Shaheed Muhammad. 4:56 on the clock. 82-75. And he cuts it to a 2-possession game. Davidson has made his money at the free throw line tonight.
And that's sometimes what you need to do if you're not shooting the ball well. Get to the stripe, get those free throws up and get them in. And this is a huge possession defensively and offensively for both teams.
Liba back into the game, backing down Moran. And that one blocked away by the RKE big man. Another stop for RKE, and all of a sudden they can cut it to a 1-possession game with a 3 here with 4.5 to play.
Little big man high screen pick and roll happening up top.
Davidson finds Moran down low, battling, pump faking, puts up a hook shot. That one blocked away by a couple of Larson Ford defenders. Here's Dean, doesn't have numbers, so he will retreat, finds Eric Brown Jr. Now will reset. Dean with Davidson on him, he'll isolate. Trying to break down his man off the dribble. Stops at the elbow, tries to find Liba, but he throws it away. And a reach-in foul on Liba.
And that's going to put RKE at the line to shoot free throws. That is a stupid foul by Alex Liba right there.
And that's 5 on Liba too. Trying to get his way into trying to get that rebound. He couldn't believe it, and it looks like he will check out and Weinglass will check back in.
You're 58 feet away from the basket. You could see.
Especially with those 4 fouls already, one of those you probably should just let go.
Did he watch film on Karl Anthony Towns? I mean, he's an NBA champion, but Karl Anthony Towns, the king of committing fouls away from the basket, and I think just the spot as Masung makes the first one. Know the moment, know where your team's at. That's just a rookie mistake, and an inexperienced one by one of the game's best players.
So Liba will head to the bench. Weinglass back in. 1 free throw remaining for Alex Masung.
And what's
Him and
crazy,
Davidson have gotten to the stripe a lot.
And that's what I was going to point. What's crazy is it's a 4-point game right now. And the way that RKE has shot the basketball, it should be a 4-point lead, but Larson Ford is struggling to close this game out, and now you have to fight for the next 4 minutes.
RKE a major advantage at the free throw line. Sean Gallagher imploring his guys to get a stop, and they do just that as Dean falls to the floor. Ball sails out of bounds.
I think if you're Larry Marshall and Larson Ford, you have to get Peter Luster in the game. Zaire Dean is clearly trying to do too much. He feels the pressure of the game right now. And once again, you have 4 other guys that you could pass to. You don't have to drive into the lane every single time, and not saying that it's an effective way of doing things, but it's not worked the entire fourth quarter. They've grown accustomed to him doing that. And if you're Dean, as there's a wet spot cleanup on the floor, start passing out. Ask for some action. Try to get some more bodies moving, because it feels like Larson Ford's offense is stagnated.
Yeah, and RKE's defense has done a nice job of adjusting as well. They're sending a lot more guys collapsing the paint. And now they have a chance to cut it down to a 1-possession game with 3:54 on the clock. 82-78. Here is Alex Masung. Gets a screen from Moran. Masung with the double team finds Davidson around the horn. Morgan, 3-pointer. That one's down.
What a time. They'd been 2 of 20 going into that last shot. They're now 1 of their last 1. And Larson Ford, who led by 17 at one point, now only leads by 1.
Here's McCallum the other way. He draws a foul going up. Only the second on RKE in the fourth quarter. Yeah, this was a 19-point game at one point. It was 53-34. But just battling back, RKE.
And even then, like, it was a 14-point game at one point in the fourth quarter, and you wondered if RKE could ever make that run where they were going on those many runs, and then the lead was going back up. They finally found the consistent run. Thankfully for them, a lot of it was found at the free throw line as McCallum bricks the first one.
But Peter Luster will check back into the game for Eric Brown Jr.
Yeah, I mean, Luster's the one guy I think you would want on the floor right now. He's been the most confident shooter on the floor for them all night, and he's the guy I would draw an action for on a 3 after this next defensive possession for Larson.
And we'll get a timeout from RKE Athletic as Sean Gallagher wants to talk some things over with his team trailing by just a point after trailing by as much as 19. Alec Kratham and Dan Yuzerski here in the broadcast booth. What do you think Sean Gallagher's going over in the huddle right now, trying to get his guys back in front?
I think he's imploring them on how to box out if McCallum misses his free throw. I mean, the first one wasn't a very good miss from McCallum. I think that's the thing. And then you could push in transition. RKE has found some success tonight pushing transition with the long outlet passes. Davidson particularly can kind of throw it like a quarterback. I think if you missed a free throw, look for RKE at first at least to look for a long outlet pass to try and get an easy bucket to put themselves back in front. Now, granted, it's kind of crazy. I don't think they've led tonight. No, they have led tonight.
Yeah, this first quarter, it was going really back and forth, but it really hasn't changed much since Larson. I don't believe the lead has changed at all since Larson took over late in the first quarter.
And I think part of it is, I think this quarter has just been a disaster for Larson. I mean, they've not shot the ball well. They've completely stagnated offensively. And now you're looking at a chance, if he misses this free throw, RKE can go down and take the lead with a 2.
Second free throw for McCallum is good. It's 83-81.
That's a big make for McCallum, who I actually think the timeout there was probably ill-advised by Sean Gallagher because it gave him more time to just relax and set himself up. He looked more relaxed at the line there.
83-81. Here's Davidson. Into Moran in the post. Finds Scott in the corner. 3 for the lead. That one won't go. But another offensive rebound for Dane Moran. Kick out to Masung. Davidson thought about a 3. Instead, he'll drive. Leaves it for Moran and just a little bit off the hands.
I think that was last touch by Larson. I think that ball was tipped.
Shaq Scott would probably agree with you.
The way that ball was, if you look at how that ball, obviously we can't get a replay on that. I mean, if we went to the stream and look, we could. That ball looked like it was deflected before it went off.
Either way, it'll be Larson ball trying to extend their 2-point lead. Here's Zaire Dean. Tries to get it into Morris, but kicked by Masung.
Again, I said previously in that timeout, I think if I'm Larson Ford, I'm getting a look for Peter Luster tonight. He's been their best shooter on the floor. Luster tonight is 3 of 11, but he's 3 of 9 from 3. And here he is right now.
He'll get the inbound, gives it back to Dean. 10 on the clock to shoot. No look pass down low to Morris. Under the basket, needs some help. Muscles his way up, and he got blocked by Davidson.
I mean, Davidson and Moran have been just unstoppable on the block down low in the paint defensively and offensively with those clutch offensive rebounds.
Here's Moran driving to the lane through 2 defenders. Loses control of the ball. It goes out of bounds off of him last.
I tell you what, Shaheed Muhammad probably got away with a little bit there playing with those 5 fouls. And there's part of it, the ref, that I don't think wanted to call the 6th on him.
As Alex Leiba will check back in for Josh Morris, so the two big look for Larson Ford as Justin Robinson has entered the building for Seaview Jeep. He'll be playing next.
Best player in the league, baby.
2:20 on the clock. He had 29 points and 16 assists last night.
I mean, you don't hear those numbers anywhere, really. I mean, maybe Jalen Brunson, but.
Here's Leiba, kicks to McCallum, drives in, defense collapses, kicks for Dean, 7 to shoot. He retreats, trying to get around Masung. He does, Euro step layup. Oh, that was pretty.
And that's great job. That's a great job by Dean there, just taking his time, staying composed, and finding an angle to get inside.
As McCallum says no. Defensive stop with a 4-point lead. The pass from Dean just a little bit too long for Luster.
Ill-advised. Again, an ill-advised turnover from Larson Ford, where all you have to do is confidently take that ball up the court. And once again, Larson Ford, it feels like they've rushed this entire fourth quarter, and they just did it again.
And you saw Larry Marshall on the sideline telling his guys to calm it down, slow it down a little bit. And a chance once again here for RKE Athletic to get back into this game. It's 85-81. In this fourth quarter has been the advantage. RKE came in down 75-64. It's been 17-10.
I tell you what, Eddie has been a machine cleaning up these wet spots tonight.
Oh, yeah. He has been excellent. High level of execution. Davidson will bring the ball up against Shahid Muhammad. He'll just rise up from three, cutting it to a one-point game.
Woo! Nick Davidson has struggled to shoot the ball all night, had not made a three coming into that shot. You know what? Why not take it? He's now one of his last one.
Dean leaves for McCallum. Now Leiba on the low block. Nice cut from McCallum. He'll go up and draws the foul. And Isaiah McCallum will head to the foul line. First in the last 2 minutes on RKE. And 2 free throws coming up for Isaiah McCallum. He split his last pair. 1:25 on the clock.
I mean, you're lucky that you go in to shoot free throws, but I feel like every time McCallum gets the ball, he's looking to shoot it. I mean, it's not the right mindset in a team sport like basketball where you see guys moving it. I mean, if you look at McCallum, he came into the corner, he's 3 of 11, and every time he's going up with it, he's trying to shoot it.
So McCallum will have
Some
2 free
senseless
throws.
basketball.
First
He
one's
makes the
good.
first.
That pushes the lead to 2. And we saw him, the one time that RKE sent 2 defenders at him, he made a nice bounce pass, made the right read, and it resulted in an assist and a basket for Larson.
I'm kind of shocked Malik Wineglass isn't on the floor right now, the veteran of this group.
As 2 big free throws from McCallum. He knocks down both and pushes the lead to 3. 87-84, 1:20 on the clock.
If I'm RKE, you don't have to look for a 3. If you get the look you want, take it. But look, settle for a 2 is perfectly fine in this possession.
Dribble handoff for Lamar Morgan. High screen from Moran. Here's Morgan. Forces up a long step back 3 for the tie. That one won't go. We'll get a foul on the rebound.
And that might be 6 on Leiba.
And officials conferring, yes, it will be on Leiba.
Dane Moran just saved an awful offensive possession for RKE. I mean, I don't understand. That was an oh my goodness Valentine level of shot right there.
Yeah, it was a good contest by Luster. He stayed in front of his man.
You're right.
Leiba done for the night. It'll be Josh Morris checking back in. That's 6 fouls on Alex Leiba.
You know what's interesting? They didn't put Wineglass back in the game. I mean, Wineglass has been their most consistent and best shooter tonight. That is interesting that he's not on the floor right now.
Maybe trying to save him up for a last possession with the close game as Moran knocks down the first, down to a 2-point game, 1:06 on the clock. Moran's second, that one good as well, a 2-for-2 trip. 1-point game, 65 seconds to play. Here's Zaire Dean, he'll slow it down.
This is kind of where I would give RKE the advantage because they're just more experienced out there in the last minute of an execute time basketball game.
Dean off a screen from Luster, 10 on the shot clock, another screen from Morris. Dean finds McCallum at the free throw line, gives to Muhammad, pump fakes, drives, got it poked away, 3 to shoot now, they got to put something up. Muhammad, turn around, did he get it up? No, it's a shot clock violation.
It was 0 for a couple of seconds there. That is just pristine defense by RKE right there. Larson had no answer. RKE switched beautifully on that possession, and now they have a chance to go down and take the lead.
38 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock. Here's Masung, down by a point. They haven't led since the first quarter. Gives to Shaq Scott. Masung gets it back, 13 to shoot. Masung drives baseline, stops, needs some help. finds Davidson. Now 8, lobs it up for Morgan. Oh, it was just a little bit too high. And with the shot clock off, RKE will have to play the foul game.
I mean, just again, you talk about the great defense that RKE had put on Larson. Well, Larson said, let me return the favor. Just great defense on that possession, and RKE really wouldn't have had anything even if they had gotten that pass off. They were rushing, the switching was great, and now Zaire Dean's going to the free throw line, and all you have to do to win this game is hit your free throws.
So 2 free throws coming up for Zaire Dean. Masung on the foul.
Which I'll mention, hitting your free throws isn't this easy, mundane thing, especially in a game like this.
It's been a physical, tough game, 87-86. Dean knocks down the first, makes it look pretty easy.
He did, and
22.5 on the game clock. Shot clock is off.
if you're RKE, you still don't need to go for a 3. But if you get the opportunity to, that's clutch free throws, they'll take a timeout here. If you're RKE, don't look for a 3, but if you get it, you take it. If you're Larson, I'm guarding against a 3. I would even consider fouling here. Put them on the line.
Not a bad idea, although maybe not want to foul Davidson or Masung. They have been excellent at the stripe tonight. So 22.5 on the game clock. Again, no shot clock. I mean, when do you feel like, at what second mark on the clock do you feel like you kind of have to shoot a 3 at that point?
I'd say if it gets to anywhere under 10, I think the first 12.5 seconds, execute your normal offense. If it becomes under 10, then you shoot your 3. And if it goes in, you're tied. If it doesn't, you know what? You could still foul and hope for some misses. But if I'm RKE, if I was them, I would say put a 2 up within the first 6 seconds of this clock. Don't let anything go past 16.5.
So 22.5 once again to play. The 5 on the floor for RKE, Moran, Davidson, Scott, Morgan, and Masung. The 5 on the floor for Larson Ford, Luster, Dean, Muhammad, Morris, and McCallum. It'll be a sideline inbound for Scott in front of his own bench. 89-86. Tremendous game. RKE was down by as many as 19, and a technical foul on Isaiah McCallum. He made contact with either the ball or Scott, and you can't do that.
I mean, unbelievable.
So that'll be a free throw and the ball, so that changes the entire equation for RKE.
And now you can go for the 2. Well, you have to make the free throw first, but what a terrible decision by McCallum.
Yeah, sometimes when you're trying to contest that inbound, sometimes you just lose your verticality. So 2 big free throws now for Lamar Morgan, 89-86. Knocks down the first with ease.
He only gets 1. You only get 1
yes, only 1
technical.
free throw. So now they get the ball and they have a chance for a tie. Now, do you hold for 1 or do you try to get a quick 2?
I would put the quick 2 up just because now you could go for, I think you play the 2 for 1 here. You have 22.5 seconds. You know they're going to have to get a shot up.
As Masung gets the inbound. 20 seconds and counting. High screen from Morgan. Masung drives baseline, steps through, puts up a tough shot. Blocked by McCallum. Luster the rebound, and now RKE has to foul. Dean with the ball. He somehow got it. What a stand by Isaiah McCallum on the defensive end.
How about going from goat to hero just like that? The previous possession, he tips a pass out of bounds on the inbound, and it results in a technical free throw. Right there, he gets the game-sealing block, and now Larson can ice it with free throws.
Dean will head back to the line. He knocked down his last 2.
That is the total Isaiah McCallum experience in 2 possessions right there.
He can defend at a high level as Dean knocks down the first. That makes it a 3-point game. 10.9 seconds on the clock. A crucial second free throw to push it to a 2-possession game. It's in and out. But Muhammad holds in the offensive rebound, and he gets fouled. Oh, no. Muhammad just wrapped around Moran and hauled in the board, and now he'll head to the stripe for 2.
Which is insane because in a game that has seen, it feels like RKE has been the dominant rebounding team all night. And the one time they get a glimmer of hope to maybe go down inside the game, Shaheed Muhammad comes up with the biggest offensive rebound of the game.
First one's up. He misses that one, so still not over yet for RKE.
What drama this is, Alec?
90-87. 8.8 on the clock. Muhammad with 1 free throw to push it to a 2-possession game.
Feels like both of these teams are trying to lose this one.
90-87. Free throw's up, and it's good, and that is a huge free throw to push it to 4, and RKE will call a timeout. A game with many, many twists and turns. It started with this game being a back-and-forth affair, as both teams were trading the lead back and forth in a low-scoring first quarter, and then towards the end of the first and through the second, Larson Ford took over, but now in the fourth quarter, it has been almost all RKE, but it looks like Larson Ford is 8.8 seconds away from coming away with the victory.
I mean, this has just been twists and turns. I've never seen anything quite like this. I mean, sometimes you get these games where it's just like, and I know it seems like, and it's not the case, that both teams are actively trying to lose the game, and it's not. But it feels like sometimes when the air can tense up, and I think this happens to teams, Larson Ford led by 17. I think a lot of people in this building thought that this game was an afterthought. Now, Larson's definitely more tensed up now because, hey, we led by 17. We had all the mojo. We had all the confidence. Everything was going our way. And here we are trying to fight to close out a hard-fought victory where this one shouldn't have even been in that position. And if you're RKE, it just feels like you can't get out of your own way.
So 8.8 on the clock, advancing the ball after the timeout. Ball's into Davidson, puts up a long three-pointer. That one around the rim, it won't go. Shaq Scott can't put it back. And Day Moran puts up another offensive rebound. Game's still not over yet, 2.7 on the clock. And Zaire Dean is fouled with 1.5 remaining. It's 91-89, so 2 more pressure free throws for Zaire Dean. This game not over yet.
You're going to have enough. We saw it last year in the championship game. Dwayne Jones went down there with enough time to drill a 3. You have enough time, but if you miss the first, I think you missed the second.
And only 1.5 on the clock. Larson Ford looking for its first win of the year. They're 0-3.
And it would be a pretty feel-good win. I mean, beating RKE, that's one of the marquee teams in this league, and
nice bounce for the shooter Zaire Dean.
Got a little dicey for a second there.
So they're up by 3, 1.5 on the clock.
Again, I would miss.
Puts it up. That one's good, and it won't matter. Another timeout for RKE. This will be their last. So down by 4 with 1.5 seconds left. I mean, you really only have one kind of course of action here. Just try to put up a contested 3 and hope you get a whistle and a make. But how about Larson Ford? Again, 0-3 coming into this game. And they have been able to muscle out what looks like they'll be able to muscle out this game if they can last the last 1.5 seconds on the clock.
And again, nothing easy for them. It's kind of been that way where it's like, you know what? You're 0-3. You think you have an easy win. RKE pushed back pretty well, and you got to give credit to RKE. They fought to the very end tonight. But Larson, this is a good win for their morale. You win, you go into the weekend, you feel pretty good, and then you could kind of reset going into next week where, hey, it hasn't been the start they've wanted to get off to, but I think that this is well done. And defensively, you were able to put up 93 without your top 2 scorers, and you showed defensively that you're as good as any team defensively in this league.
RKE 1-2 on the year, and again, Larson looking for that first victory, and this would be a hard-fought one at that, and we'll get you our star of the game interview after the game, but still 1.5 seconds left to handle here on the clock. It'll be Scott to inbound from the sideline. Looking for a man. Muhammad going crazy, trying to contest. It's Morgan. Long contested 3 at the buzzer. It misses, and Larson Ford is on the board in the win column with a hard-fought 93-89 victory in which they led by as many as 19. RKE made it as close as a 1-point game, but in the end, Larson Ford had a couple of final big free throws to knock down, and they come away with the first victory of the year.
I tell you what, and that is great late-game execution by Larson Ford. RKE had some chances to win this one late, and they couldn't. And now we look ahead to a really good game in the next one against WCT and Seaview Jeep. But tell you what, Larson Ford, credit to them. They played a really hard-fought game tonight.
So we'll have our interview with our player of the game from Larson Ford. We'll be back after a couple of minutes here on the JSBL Network. Alec Crowdhimmel back here with our JSBL star of the game, Zaire Dean from Larson Ford. They get their first win of the season, 93-89 over RKE Athletic. Zaire Dean, 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Zaire, you're kind of the engine, the main ball handler on this offense, getting the win for the first time this year. How'd you guys do that tonight?
Just sharing the ball, play defense, play together. We knew what we had to fix from the last 3 games. It wasn't too complicated at all. So when we got in the locker room, we knew what we needed to say, and when we got on the floor, we knew what we needed to do. So just came out here and got it done.
And this game, you could say a lot of different storylines in this game. It was a back-and-forth game in the first quarter. Then you guys took control in the second and third. RKE made the comeback late in the fourth quarter, cut it to a couple of possessions, made it close at the end. How were you guys able to close this game out and eventually make your free throws late and come away with the victory?
Yeah, just like I said before, just staying together. Basketball is a game of run, so sometimes the team might fall apart, and I feel like it's on me just to get us together and make sure everybody's in their spots and make sure everybody stay composed so we can get the win.
And again, you played in a lot of tough games so far this season, close games where you guys have been in it a lot, just haven't been able to get over the hump just yet. You do that tonight. How can games like that, the ones where you may not come away victorious, prepare you for games like this where you're in a pressure situation late and you have to come away with a win, and you do?
Yeah, it just shows us that we got to finish games. Basketball is a very, very long game, so like I said before, it's a game to run. So, they're going to have our runs, we're going to have our runs, but at the end of the day, we just got to keep playing, and when it gets down on our side, we just got to stay even and keep playing hard.
And you guys got a very large stable of big men, guys like Isaiah McCallum, Malik Weinglass, Shaheed Muhammad, Alex Liba, Lucas Agbajemison. I mean, I could go on and on. How much fun is it to have a bunch of big guys that you can throw the ball to or help them? They can help you kind of seal off and get in the paint.
Oh, man, it's great. Sha, that's the best jumper I've ever seen in my own 2 eyes. So, him and Alex down there is super fun just playing with those trees and making the defense second guess what they got to do.
And for you, you had a really strong first year in college for a couple years of your college career, former Red Bank regional standout. I know you entered the transfer portal. What's your next move here for basketball this upcoming season in the college game?
Next move, I'll be going to Northern Oklahoma College in Tonka, Oklahoma, Division I JUCO. So just get myself ready for next year and ready to go kill so I can make D1 next year after that.
Zaire Dean did a great job of getting started there. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Our player of the game for Larson Forward's first win of the season. They take down RKE Athletic 93-89. Zaire, congrats on the win tonight and a great job out there.
Thank you. Appreciate it.